What if I told you that the Bible contains secrets that can lead you to wealth? And more. These very principles were used by the most successful millionaires in history. Would you believe it? Well, believe it or not, this is a truth that many ignore. The reality is that prosperity is not a coincidence, nor a privilege for the few. There is a set of universal laws, revealed centuries ago, that work for anyone willing to apply them correctly. Now I ask you, why do most people ignore these principles? Why do so many still live trapped in a scarcity mindset, struggling month after month, while others accumulate fortunes? What makes the difference between those who prosper and those who live in the constant struggle for survival? The answer lies in how you see money and prosperity. Many still believe that money is dirty, that the rich are greedy, or worse, that God doesn't want you to be wealthy. But the truth is, the Bible does not condemn wealth. It teaches how to achieve it in the right way. And do you know what the secret is that few realize? The famous law of attraction, often spoken of as a modern secret, is already written in these biblical teachings, long before it became a popular concept. It's no surprise to those who deeply understand the prosperity principles contained in the Bible. You may have asked yourself, why do some people seem to attract money so easily, while others live in constant financial struggle? Well, if you want to understand what differentiates these two realities, you're in the right place. Today we're going to dive into the prosperity principles that are hidden in plain sight. More importantly, we'll see how to apply these principles in practice. Because believe me, knowledge without action does not lead to transformation. By the end of this video, you'll have a new perspective on money, faith, and wealth. If you truly want to break free from financial stagnation and open the doors to abundance, stay with me until the end. It won't just be theory, it will be a change in the way you see the world around you. Let's get started. Now that you're immersed in the idea that the secrets to prosperity are within your reach, let's take a step further and understand how these principles have always been at your disposal, especially in one of the most influential and ancient books in history, the Bible. Napoleon Hill, author of the famous classic Think and Grow Rich, spent years studying the most successful millionaires and noticed that somehow they all followed these principles, even if unknowingly. However, what happens with most people? They ignored or were unaware of this path, either due to lack of knowledge or because they didn't believe the principles were truly applicable. I've created this content to help you awaken to the principles that can change your financial life. We're not talking about secret formulas or magical solutions, but about proven principles that, when applied, can transform realities. Are you ready to take the first step? Can you imagine that something so ancient could be the key to your financial success? But the question here goes far beyond money itself. The true key lies in the mindset that leads to it. Since biblical times, there has been a clear pattern. Those who prosper think differently. The Bible already teaches us, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23 verse 7. This phrase deeply resonates with the essence of the law of attraction that many know today. And it doesn't stop there. Napoleon Hill, one of the greatest scholars of the human mind and author of the bestseller Think and Grow Rich, reinforces exactly the same concept. Your thoughts shape your reality. He observed that those who adopt a prosperous vision, even in the face of difficulties, inevitably attract opportunities. Meanwhile, those who live trapped in negative beliefs about money end up sabotaging themselves and condemning themselves to a life of scarcity, limited by their own beliefs. Now you might be asking yourself, why does this happen? The answer lies in what we call the mindset paradigm. Many have been conditioned since childhood to see money as something dirty, to associate wealth with corruption, and to believe that only a few chosen ones can get rich. But observe the true millionaires and you'll see there's a replicable pattern. And it's exactly this pattern that we'll explore next. How biblical teachings, Napoleon Hill's wisdom, and the law of attraction can radically transform your way of thinking and open the doors to prosperity. And here's an essential reminder. The mind is the cradle of either wealth or poverty. It all begins with thought. Proverbs 23 verse 7 already told us, as a man thinks, so he is. This statement holds one of the greatest secrets to prosperity. The external world reflects what you carry inside. And Napoleon Hill, with all his wisdom, also said, those who think grow rich. Wealth begins in the mind, not in the wallet. Those who think in scarcity only see limitations, while those who cultivate an abundance mindset find opportunities where no one else sees them. But how do you change this pattern and start attracting prosperity? Change begins with your words and thoughts. Start noticing how you talk about money. Phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," "rich people are all thieves," or "I'll never make it," are programming your subconscious to repel prosperity. Believe me, these words create limitations. Napoleon Hill taught us that the subconscious mind absorbs everything we repeatedly say. In other words, if you keep repeating negative phrases, your brain will absorb this as truth, and your financial life will never change. The key is to replace these limiting thoughts with powerful affirmations. For example, "I am worthy of prosperity," or "money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources." It may seem simple or even silly at first, but this is how the law of attraction works. You attract what you believe in and focus on. Moreover, information is essential for shaping your mindset. Surrounding yourself with content and people that reinforce a wealthy mindset can make all the difference. Read books that strengthen a prosperity mindset, such as The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and, of course, Think and Grow Rich. Avoid negative conversations, distance yourself from people who constantly complain, and seek to be around people who inspire you to grow. If you surround yourself with prosperous minds, you will naturally begin to think in a prosperous way too. Now, imagine if you apply all of this to your life. The transformation could be instant, and your financial future could change radically. The secret to prosperity lies in how you think. It all starts in the mind. If you're ready to change, the first decision you make can transform your reality forever. Are you ready to take the first step? Did you know the Bible already teaches us the way to prosperity? It warns us about something crucial. He who walks with the wise will be wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm. Proverbs 13 verse 20. This isn't just a moral lesson but a powerful principle about the influence of the environment and the people around us. If you want to change your financial life, you need to start by changing your circle. Surround yourself with people who inspire and elevate your mindset. Otherwise, stagnation will be an inevitable consequence. And this leads us to a fundamental point. Wealth begins in the mind. If you see yourself as someone without resources, your actions and choices will reflect that mindset. Napoleon Hill, in his study of the richest men in the world, made it clear. The mind attracts exactly what it sustains. If you think in scarcity, you will attract scarcity. If you think in abundance, you will attract opportunities and solutions. This isn't magic, it's applied mindset, it's a universal law. The big problem is that for years, we've grown up hearing limiting phrases like, "money doesn't grow on trees," "those who get rich must have done something wrong," or "you can't have it all." These beliefs form a mental block that prevents any real progress. Those who think this way end up self-sabotaging and conditioning their minds for failure. On the other hand, millionaires think completely differently. For them, money isn't a problem, it's a tool. They have absolute confidence that there will always be more. More ideas, more opportunities, more possibilities. This is the first step in moving out of stagnation and starting to prosper. So, how can you apply this mindset shift in your daily life? Simple. Replace scarcity thinking with powerful questions. Instead of saying, "I don't have money for that," start asking, "How can I generate more value and create resources for this?" This simple shift in thinking changes absolutely everything. Focus on solutions, feed your mind with good ideas, and always remember, what you believe becomes reality. But what have you been sowing in the field of your life? If what you're planting are complaints, procrastination, and fear of investing in yourself, what else could you reap but financial difficulties? On the other hand, those who plant knowledge, strategic action, and long-term vision will inevitably reap prosperity. The mentorship of great investors makes it clear. They don't sit around waiting for money to fall from the sky. They sow, buy assets, study the market, diversify, and over time their investments bloom. This principle is universal. What you plant, you harvest. In the mind, in emotions, in actions, the cycle of sowing and reaping is unstoppable. But there's a detail that many overlook. Harvesting takes time. And this is exactly where many people give up. They plant good habits and ideas for a week, and when they don't see immediate results, they revert to stagnation. But the farmer knows that the seed needs time to grow. Patience is key, and it's this patience that separates those who grow wealthy from those who never get anywhere. Time will pass anyway. The real question is, what are you planting today? What are you sowing in your financial, emotional, and spiritual life? Remember, without discipline, nothing grows. The Bible is clear: lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Proverbs 10 verse 4. Consistency and hard work are the foundations of prosperity. If you want to see results, it's discipline that will ensure growth day after day. Wealth is the fruit of consistent action. You won't conquer what you desire instantly, but by investing in prosperity habits, learning, acting, and investing in yourself, you will be planting a future of abundance. The process may be slow, but what you reap will be invaluable. So, what are you going to do now? Are you going to keep waiting for luck to knock on your door, or are you going to start planting the fruits of success right now? Have you noticed that luck favors the disciplined? Napoleon Hill, after studying hundreds of millionaires, realized something surprising. None of them relied on luck. They relied on discipline. While many wait for luck to knock on their door, the truly rich know that the key to success isn't waiting for a stroke of luck, but acting every day. Even when they're not motivated, they do what needs to be done. Constant action is what separates those who only dream from those who achieve. Look at any high achiever. Athletes train even when they don't feel like it. Writers write even when they're uninspired, and investors make decisions even during moments of uncertainty. What drives them? Discipline. Discipline is the fuel that keeps the engine running, even when motivation hides. Discipline is the dividing line between dreamers and doers. Here's a crucial point that many overlook. The law of attraction doesn't work without action. It's no use wishing for wealth or a better life if your daily actions don't reflect those wishes. It's the combination of intelligence and consistency that generates tangible results. True transformation doesn't just happen on the mental level, but in practical action. So, how can you apply this in your life? Start by eliminating procrastination. The first step is to set clear and specific goals, and then break those goals down into small daily actions. Each action, no matter how simple it seems, will bring you closer to the life you desire. Want to start a business? Dedicate at least 1 hour a day to your project. Want to invest? Study finance, make decisions, and act consistently. Small, repeated efforts, every day build great achievements. But there's one detail that many overlook, which can amplify the entire process of financial growth: generosity. It may seem contradictory, but one of the biggest secrets to wealth is learning how to give. The Bible teaches clearly, "Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap." Luke 6 verse 38. This isn't limited to material donations. It's about sharing knowledge, helping others, and creating value. It's about creating a cycle of prosperity that starts with you and spreads to others. Napoleon Hill, in his study of millionaires, noticed a pattern. They gave before they received. They invested in people, offered solutions, created opportunities, and as a result, wealth flowed in unexpected ways. The wealthiest are always the ones who generate the most, whether in the form of ideas or support for others. Look around you and you'll see, the most successful entrepreneurs like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Warren Buffett didn't get rich because they were desperate for money. They weren't chasing wealth. They were solving real problems, impacting lives, and creating value. Money came as a result of that. The law of attraction works like this. When you give without fear, you resonate with the frequency of abundance, and the more you contribute, the more prosperity comes back to you. The biggest mistake many make is doing the opposite. They hold on to what little they have, live in fear, and operate with a scarcity mentality. This fear of loss blocks the flow of prosperity. If you want more money, create more value. If you want more knowledge, share what you know. If you want more opportunities, help others grow. Now it's time for you to act. Start today by practicing generosity, disciplining yourself for constant action, and valuing what you have and what you can share. The wealth you seek is already within your reach, but it will only be attracted to you when you're vibrating at the frequency of generosity, discipline, and action. There are powerful ways to multiply what you have. It could be through a simple insight, recommending a good book, mentoring someone, or even donating a percentage of your income. The key is to act without expecting immediate returns. It's not about how much you receive, but how much you contribute. True prosperity begins with the attitude of giving, without the expectation that the universe will immediately reward you. But there's one secret that few notice. The rich not only give, they choose who they surround themselves with. Prosperity is also about environment. The Bible already said, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools suffers harm." Proverbs 13 verse 20. Napoleon Hill reinforced this with the concept of mastermind, a group of aligned minds who come together to share ideas and propel mutual growth. The truth is simple: no one prospers alone. You can try to walk alone, but the path becomes much easier when you're surrounded by people who think big. Those who surround themselves with negative people who only complain about life and see problems in everything absorb that mentality. But those who surround themselves with people who talk about solutions, innovation, and growth, elevate their own standard. Look at millionaires and top entrepreneurs. They are always connected with each other. They attend the same events, share strategies, learn together, and grow together. This is no coincidence. It's a universal principle of wealth. The truth is that you attract what you tolerate around you. If you want to improve your financial life, start following people who talk about money intelligently. Read books on finance, watch videos of investors, attend events with those who think big, and most importantly, carefully select your friendships. Ask yourself, do the people around me lift me up or hold me down? The environment shapes your decisions. And if there's something that can transform your financial life definitively, it's knowledge. The Bible teaches, "Take my instruction instead of silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold." Proverbs 8 verse 10. Napoleon Hill observed this clearly. Millionaires don't just focus on money, but on the knowledge that generates money. Money can go away, but wisdom stays. And it's wisdom that allows you to multiply any value, whether it's a salary, an investment, or a business. Warren Buffett, the billionaire, didn't get there by chance. He studied like no one else. Elon Musk didn't start creating rockets. He learned by reading and surrounding himself with the best. Financial success has a pattern: learn, apply, and evolve. And once again, the law of attraction confirms. The more you seek wisdom and act with clarity, the more doors will open. The problem is that most people want quick wealth without mental effort and end up falling into financial traps. So, how can you apply this in your life? Make learning a daily habit. Read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich. Study investments, business, personal development, and above all, put it all into practice. Knowledge without action doesn't bring transformation. And here's the final vital piece: persistence. Even with all the knowledge in the world, the road to wealth requires resilience. The Bible teaches that, though your beginning was small, your latter days will be very great. Job 8 verse 7. No one starts big, but those who persist reap extraordinary results. Napoleon Hill discovered that all the millionaires he studied failed many times before they prospered. The difference is that they didn't see failures as defeats. They saw them as part of the process. Those who quit at the first failure will never know what true prosperity is. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Henry Ford went bankrupt several times before founding the automaker that would forever change the automotive industry. Walt Disney was rejected by banks and investors who laughed at his dream. But what do these names have in common? They didn't give up. They learned from their mistakes, adjusted their strategies, and kept going. The law of attraction works like this as well. When you persist, your focus and energy remain directed toward the solution, and the universe responds by opening paths. The problem is that most people give up at the first obstacle and return to the cycle of frustration and scarcity. How can you change this? Simple: make a long-term commitment to your goals. Want to invest? Keep learning and applying even if the first steps seem small. Want to start a business? Adjust your strategy as many times as needed until you find the right path. Want to transform your financial life? Persist in wealth-building habits until they become part of who you are. The prosperity game is won by those who have patience and discipline. But there's a silent enemy that brings most people down: fear and doubt. Fear is the greatest thief of dreams. The Bible reminds us of this in Matthew 14 verse 31. "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" The moment Peter doubted, he sank. Life is the same. Those who fear making mistakes don't move forward. Napoleon Hill identified fear as one of the greatest barriers to wealth. Fear of losing money prevents you from investing, fear of judgment paralyzes your ideas, fear of failure stops you from trying. Doubt is like a virus that kills success before it even has a chance to be born. Think of great investors. Warren Buffett invests in stocks when everyone else is panicking. Great entrepreneurs launch ideas even without guarantees. The secret? They act with strategy, not fear. The law of attraction responds to your inner state. If you feed insecurity, your mind creates reasons to paralyze you. But if you act with confidence and faith, opportunities will appear. Most people get stuck in the "what if it goes wrong" mindset, not realizing that the greatest risk is not trying at all. Overcoming fear and acting with purpose. The path to true prosperity. The first question that arises when facing fear is, what's the worst that could happen? In most cases, the most terrifying scenario your mind creates isn't as scary as it seems. The key is to act even with fear. Those who prosper don't wait to feel courage. They act, and along the way, courage follows. Small, consistent steps are the most effective way to dissipate fear. And here's a powerful point. Those with a clear purpose can't afford to give up. Purpose is the compass that keeps you on track even when the journey becomes difficult. Those without a why are adrift. The Bible says in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope." Prosperity isn't a coincidence. It's the result of a clear vision and a defined direction. Napoleon Hill found that successful millionaires shared one thing in common: a definite purpose. They weren't just after money, they were on a mission to transform and leave a legacy. Steve Jobs wanted to reinvent technology. Elon Musk wanted to take man to Mars. Warren Buffett wanted to teach the world how to invest wisely. Money was just a consequence of a clear purpose. The law of attraction comes into play here too. When you have a strong purpose, your mind aligns with the resources needed to achieve it. But those who live without direction, without clarity, end up sinking into mediocrity, with no strength to persist. So, how do you find your purpose? Ask yourself, what do I really want to build? What excites me just by thinking about it? How can I use my talents to impact lives? A clear purpose is the key to sustaining your journey, especially during the toughest moments. A true purpose makes you get up every day with drive, regardless of the obstacles. And there's something that can accelerate this process: gratitude. Gratitude is one of the key pillars of prosperity. The Bible teaches, "Give thanks in all circumstances." 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 18. This means being grateful even before the victory. Napoleon Hill observed that millionaires don't focus on what they lack. They value what they already have, and because of that, they attract even more. The law of attraction works like this: what you value multiplies. The problem is that many do the opposite. They complain about their salary, debts, and the tough life. But by doing so, their mind only amplifies what it focuses on. If you only see scarcity, scarcity is what you will attract. But if you start to see blessings and opportunities, your reality will change. Great entrepreneurs practice gratitude daily. Many write down 3 things they're grateful for every morning. This may seem simple, but it's a powerful mental reprogramming process that helps you see abundance. Now, the question that really matters is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you just watch this video, feel motivated for a few minutes, and then forget about it, or will you make a decision now to apply these principles in your life? Because in the end, everything comes down to one word: action. Knowledge without practice is just information, but applied knowledge is transformation. If you truly want to prosper, the time to act is now. Let's recap. Now you know the biblical principles of wealth and the teachings proven by Napoleon Hill. The question remains, what will you do with this? Most people will return to their routine, but those who make a decision now and apply what they've learned will be the ones to achieve true prosperity. The difference between those who prosper and those who don't isn't talent, luck, or chance. It's the ability to take action even with doubts. This is the moment to act. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you just watch and then return to your routine? Or will you apply the principles and start transforming your life now? Remember, true change starts with the decision to act. The time to change is now. The difference between success and failure is in putting knowledge into practice. Prosperity isn't a coincidence. It's the result of daily and consistent actions. The decision is yours. The future starts now. Now is the time to make a firm decision. Create a plan, have the courage to act even when doubts arise. Your future will be determined by the choices you make today. Those who decide to apply these principles will have a transformed life. And transformation starts with one simple step. Choose a starting point. It could be changing your mindset about money, your daily habits, or even the people you associate with. Perhaps it's time to invest, create a new source of income, or simply act like someone who is already thriving. Remember, the law of attraction doesn't respond to what you just wish for. It responds to what you do. Those who act with faith, consistency, and wisdom will inevitably prosper. If this content has touched you, make a commitment to yourself right now. Write in the comments, "I will apply." This is not just a comment, it's a commitment to your new phase. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who also needs to hear this message. Because in the end, change begins when you inspire others to grow. Now the decision is in your hands. You've learned the biblical secrets of wealth, you've seen how Napoleon Hill proved these principles. The choice is yours. Will you apply them or will you delay your future? Start now. The future begins with the step you take today. Take control of your financial life. The truth is simple and direct. The law of attraction only works for those who take the initiative. Those who wait for a miracle without acting will continue to wait indefinitely. So make the decision now. Take the first step, and to cement this commitment to your new prosperity mindset, write in the comments, "I will apply." This simple action reinforces your alignment with abundance. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell to keep learning how to transform your mindset, your finances, and your reality. And more. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message because knowledge only becomes powerful when it's shared. The more you spread transformation, the more abundance returns to you. Now the choice is yours. You can return to your usual routine, or you can take control of your financial life and create a new destiny starting today. The decision is in front of you, and your future begins with the action you take now.